This is kind of a bucket list hunt here, and it's not going according to plan. All right, 8 years in the making. Finally drew the Bridger buck tag. It was maybe 8 years, give or take. I don't even know. I lost track of time. It just seemed like year over year it wasn't happening. But 2019 finally drew the tag sometime in the spring, early summer. FWP posted results. So scouting started immediately. Got into it with a couple buddies, just wandering around, walking the hills, getting the lay of the land. Spent plenty of time up in the Bridgers and know the area well, but it's a little different when you got to look at it through the eyes of what's mule deer doing. Spend some time just logging mile after mile after mile, glassing. The emphasis was not going to be archery season up there. Probably should have put in a little more time, but I knew rifle season was going to be the prime time. So spent a couple of days up there just scouting around through archery season and chasing a little bit of elk, watching elk run onto private property. It's the thing of the Bridgers. Rifle season, it was a go. So I started hunting up there when I was with my brother, a couple of different friends through town. They were nice enough to say they'd lend an eye, knowing that they couldn't shoot anything up there. There's some elk, but primarily mule deer.
All right, we're up. You don't have to smile. It's a video. We're up here. Chasing bucks. The Bridgers. We've seen some does. That's been about it. So we'll see what we can find now. It's steep as shit too. Steep as shit.
Rifle season, it was a little slow. The weather was kind of cooperative right off the bat, and then we started getting a little bit of warm weather, and it didn't seem like the deer were rutting. And mid-November comes around, they're still not really moving. I was taking 7 days or so to chase deer just day after day, and that became a little disheartening. Went and did multiple trips up there, logged plenty of miles, and just could not come up with anything. Even finding does was tough, which was the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen here.
Well, after an hour glassing, ran some does up there, saw some does up there. I'm gonna try to cut them off and see if there's a buck cruising with them. So here's the hiking, steep and deep.
Standing straight up, just touch the ground. It's a little steep here.
So maybe this wasn't such a great idea. We'll get there. So they're sitting in their beds right in here. And they ran up this way. So this is the spot they like.
It finally took a turn for the better, started seeing deer, seeing good groups of does. About as quick as finding them, everything went south with they would not get off of private land. So a lot of miles were spent just sitting on public ground watching deer cruise fence lines and not wanting to get onto the public ground that I was hunting. I was finally able to make a couple of connections with landowners that would allow access into the national forest through their property, which was extremely helpful. Can't stress that enough, that landowner relations paid dividends on this hunt. Just knocking and talking, phone calls, and getting onto people's places, making use of what access points there were, whether it was a National Forest hiking trail or FWP hunting access easements that certain landowners put in. That was a big benefit. Fast forward to kind of the tailish end of the week before Thanksgiving, and I finally found something where I was pretty confident in it. Again, landowner access. I was able to access the national forest through a gentleman's property. He was kind enough to let me hunt there. 1 or 2 days went by of jumping through his place and just nothing. But finally, it just felt good. Found some nice bucks down low. Knew there had to have been something up high. Make the trip up, finally located exactly what I was looking for. I found one buck that was cruising with one or two other bucks and a couple of does. He positioned himself pretty well.
I've got a buck bedded at 200 yards straight up here. Doing the low crawl. We're kind of both caught in the open here. So I'm gonna belly crawl up there. See if I can get a shot on him. Finally. I got does to my left. This buck is still bedded up top there. Just playing the waiting game. I'm just shy of an hour of waiting on this guy. Shit, he's finally on the move. Days of hunting paid off. He's a beautiful deer. He was bedded for, he was bedded for an hour when I found him. I just couldn't get a shot off on him because he was behind a rock. And then he finally stood up just for a moment. Been drawn for this tag for 10 plus years. No, something like 8 years, I guess, now I think about it. And I was thinking that I wasn't going to find anything. But I did. So, time to clean him out. Bring him home. Weeks ago, my wife and I found out that we're going to have a baby. And she got me a shirt, Baby Daddy. So I'm going to say this is my lucky hunting shirt from now on. Funny thing was, I never actually officially opened this thing up from FWP for the special draw. I peeked inside, but I never actually opened it. So here, let's open this thing. Yep. There it is. Time to notch. Oh, and I better sign this right now, huh? Time to notch this thing and get to it. I unpacked part of the way out. Of course, the only way in here was the steep stuff. That's going to be the way to get them out. Straight down this nasty little draw here. Doesn't look very steep, but it's a lot. Time to do some work.
All the miles, all the hours, I don't even know what it was, how many days and how many miles. I think that if I was looking kind of on my phone tracking things, that it was 60, 70 miles, give or take, of hiking that finally was going to pay off. Usually we try to say that we try to push community within hunting, but I knew this tag was going to be this was an individual effort on my part, but there were a couple other folks that had this tag that I leaned on. But the best part was the amount of people that came out and helped, knowing that they weren't likely going to shoot anything. The elk numbers aren't huge in the Bridgers, and I wouldn't have been too happy about going up and a buddy taking a pop at a bull or a cow while I'm looking for this muley buck. But it was pretty incredible the amount of people that turned out to just help scout. A second set of eyes, third set of eyes is always super helpful. And that it just goes to show the community behind hunting. About the only one that just really didn't come was Mike. Mike was going to come up and film and help me scout, and he was always too busy. So thanks for that one, Mike. That was really helpful. Everyone else came out except for you, and you were the only one to commit to it at the beginning of the season. It was a good hunt. It was a fun hunt, and it was probably 10, 15 days into doing this hunt. I was saying never putting in for this tag again, and now I know for sure this tag's going to be on the list for the rest of my life of putting in for it and hoping for the best draw on it. It was a good time, good memories, and that's what it's all about.
That's it for him. Oh, there he is.